Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yasoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yasoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabiyari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabiyari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabihari. Gaur Premanandi. Gruntraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Please repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All right, so we are reading from Canto 8, Chapter 21, Bali Maharaj arrested by the Lord. I was just going to sit there. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimati Ratavaja Swaminiti Namine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimati Tamal Krishna Goswami Iti Namine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paskata Deshatarine. That's my Mangalacharanam. Sorry, it's short. So, this is a privilege to be starting a chapter. I don't think I've ever had that privilege before in giving classes. Of course, I don't give class so much anymore because I want to hear from others. It's always the Kunti show. I'm tired of the Kunti show. So I just want to hear, and I want to learn about Krishna Prema from those who actually have it. And they're really serious and sincere. I only think I'm serious and I only think I'm sincere, but there's a difference between real and counterfeit. So I'm sorry that you have counterfeit today. All right. So let's read Srila Prabhupada's Nectar. This chapter describes Bali Maharaj arrested by the Lord. This chapter describes how Lord Vishnu, desiring to advertise the glories of Bali Maharaj, arrested him for not fulfilling his promise in regard to the Lord's third step. With the second step, the Supreme Personality of Godhead reached the topmost planet of the universe, Brahmaloka, which he diminished in beauty by the effulgence of his toenails. Thus Lord Brahma, accompanied by great sages like Marichi and the predominating deities of all the higher planets, offered humble prayers and worship to the Lord. They washed the Lord's feet and worshipped him with all paraphernalia. Riksaraj, Jambavan, played his bugle to vibrate the glories of the Lord. When Bali Maharaj was deprived of all his possessions, the demons were very angry. Although Bali Maharaj warned them not to do so, they took up weapons against Lord Vishnu. All of them were defeated, however, by Lord Vishnu's eternal associates, and in accordance with Bali Maharaj's order, they all entered the lower planets of the universe. Understanding Lord Vishnu's purpose, Garuda, the carrier of Lord Vishnu, immediately arrested Bali Maharaj with the ropes of Varuna. When Bali Maharaj was thus reduced to a helpless position, Lord Vishnu asked him for the third step of land. Because Lord Vishnu appreciated Bali Maharaj's determination and integrity, when Bali Maharaj was unable to fulfill his promise, Lord Vishnu ascertained that the place for him would be the planet Sutala, which is better than the planets of heaven. Manjari, because it's text 1 through... Okay, would anybody like to read text 1? And since Roseshri has to go to school, I was hoping it would be you first.
Shukadeva Goswami continued, when Lord Brahma, who was born of a lotus flower, saw that the effulgence of his residence, Brahmaloka, had been reduced by the glaring effulgence from the toenails of Lord Vamandev, he approached the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Brahma was accompanied by all the great sages, headed by Marichi and by yogis like Sanandana. But in the presence of that glaring effulgence, O King, even Lord Brahma and his associates seemed insignificant.
Among the great personalities who came to worship the lotus feet of the Lord were those who had attained perfection in self-control and regulative principles, as well as experts in logic, history, general education, and the Vedic literature known as kalpa, dealing with old historical incidents. Others were experts in the Vedic corollaries like Brahma Samhita, all the other knowledge of the Vedas, Sama Yajur, and Atharva, and also the supplementary Vedic knowledge Ayurveda,
Dhanurveda.
Others were those who had been freed of the reactions of fruitive activities by transcendental knowledge awakened by practice of yoga, and still others were those who had attained residence in Brahmaloka, not by ordinary karma but by advanced Vedic knowledge. After devotedly worshipping the upraised lotus feet of the Supreme Lord with oblations of water, Lord Brahma, who was born of the lotus emanating from Lord Vishnu's navel, offered prayers to the Lord.
O King, the water from Lord Brahma's Kamandalu washed the lotus feet of Lord Vamanadev, who is known as Urukrama, the wonderful actor. Thus that water became so pure that it was transformed into the water of the Ganges, which went flowing down from the sky, purifying the three worlds like the pure fame of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Lord Brahma and all the predominating deities of the various planetary systems began to worship Lord Vamanadev, their supreme master, who had reduced himself from his all-pervading form to his original form. They collected all the ingredients and paraphernalia for this worship.
They worshipped the Lord by offering fragrant flowers, water, pajja and arja and sandalwood pulp and aguru pulp and incense, lamps, fused rice, unbroken grains, fruits, roots and sprouts. While so doing, they offered the prayers of indicating the glorious activities of the Lord and shouted Jaya Jaya. They also danced, played instruments, sang, sounded conch shells and beat kettle drums, in this way worshipping the Lord.
Jambavan, king of the bears, also joined in the ceremony. Sounding his bugle in all directions, he declared a great festival for Lord Vamanadeva's victory.
Haribo. Shri Vamanadeva ki jai. And what is our focus verse? Oh. Okay, let's chant text 4. Datu kamandalu jalam tadaru kamasya. Try that again. Sorry. Datu kamandalu jalam tadaru kamasya. Padavane jana pavitra tataya Narendra. Tarduni abunavasi sapatati namarsti. Loka trayam bhagavato vishadeva kirti. Please chant. Datu kamanda lujalam tadaru kramasya. Padavane jana pavitra tataya narendra. Sardini abhinavasi sapatati namarsti. Loka trayam bhagavato vishadeva kirti. Anyone else? Prabhu, you want to try? Oh, okay. Okay, let's do word for word and together. Datu of Lord Brahma, Kamandalu, we're saying together. So when you look at the word for word, we're going to follow Krishna House, how they do that, because it's more expedient, and it stays. Yes, thank you. Datu of Lord Brahma, Kamandalu Jalam, water from the Kamandalu, taught that Arukramasya of Lord Vishnu, Pada Avan Jena Pavitrataya, because of washing the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, and thus being transcendently pure. Narendra, O king, Sarduni, the river named Sarduni of the celestial world, Advut, so became, Navasi, in outer space, Saha, that water, Patati, flowing down, Nimarshti, purifying, Lokatrayam, the three worlds, Bhagavata, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishada, so purified, Eva, just like, Kirti, the fame or the glorious activities. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. O king, the water from Lord Brahma's Kamandalu washed the lotus feet of Lord Vamanadev, who is known as Arukrama, the wonderful actor. Thus that water became so pure that it was transformed into the water of the Ganges, which went flowing down from the sky, purifying the three worlds like the pure fame of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Please repeat. O king, the water from Lord Brahma's Kamandalu washed the lotus feet of the Lord Vamanadev, who is known as Arukrama, the wonderful actor. Thus that water became so pure that it was transformed into the water of the Ganges, which went flowing down from the sky, purifying the three worlds like the pure fame of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. Here we understand that the Ganges began when the water from Lord Brahma's Kamandalu washed the lotus feet of Lord Vamanadev. But in the 5th canto, it is stated that the Ganges began when Vamanadev's left foot pierced the covering of the universe, so that the transcendental water of the causal ocean leaked through. And elsewhere it is also stated that Lord Narayan appeared as the water of the Ganges. The water of the Ganges, therefore, is a combination of 3 transcendental waters. And thus the Ganges is able to purify the 3 worlds. This is the description given by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Omagyanantarandasya Ganagana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadam. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostite Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhana Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So there are 3 different waters being discussed here. Do you know which? Anybody want to venture all 3, or do you want me to try? How about one? Do you know one of the waters? Very good. Okay, so Prabhu's telling me that that the water touching the lotus feet of the Lord as his left foot pierced the covering of the universe. And so then it became very pure, beyond pure. She's doing good today. Okay, so the next water, that's the causal ocean. And what is the causal ocean made out of? No, it is the sweat of the Lord. Yeah, it is the sweat of the Lord, and it's completely pure. And then what is the third water? It's the water that washed the lotus feet of the Lord. Oh yeah, that was the first one, is the Kamandalu. Sorry. Thank you. You should be sitting here, you know that. Are you late? Were you supposed to give class? What happened? You want to take over? Seriously. Okay, anyway. I'm so unqualified, it's a joke. I mean, I miss Prabhupada Priya, I miss Krishna House so much, it chokes me up that we have to part ways, and anyway, I can't operate that because I don't have a laptop. I don't have a tablet or a laptop or the know-how with my phone to sync it with my phone, and so anyway, you're stuck. But that's okay, because we have the Bhagavatam. And what is the other water that we can discuss today that is so purifying? Anybody have a clue? I have a clue. I only have a clue, though. No realization, but I've got a clue. It's the nectar of the Srimad Bhagavatam. That is the Bhava Oshadi. That is the holy name of the Lord. And that is Krishna personified. Tell me her name again. What's her name again? You're Drishti. I have you confused with another girl. You're Drishti. Kanya Kumari talks about you a lot. And so does Kyra and so the other girls. They can't wait for you to get older so that they can discuss Krishna Katha with you. Yeah, that's what we're doing, Drishti. You're going to learn Krishna Katha, and you're chanting on your japa. That's very nice. How many rounds? Drishti, how many rounds you chant? Jai! Jai. You're way better than I could ever be, Baba. You're only 4, and you're already chanting 1 round a day. I was in total mode of ignorance when I was 4. I was sliding down a banister in our 2-story house, hitting my head against a door. Or sliding in my bike in the street. I slid in the street so badly that I ripped all the skin off my right arm all the way down to my knee. And I slid in the street and ripped off my clothes, everything. My mom was saying, "You're not a girl. You're actually a tomboy." I said, "Okay, what's a tomboy?" She said, "It's a girl that acts like a boy." Anyway, it's true. It's true. Okay, so going back to the Lord Vamanadev, what are some more amazing aspects of Lord Vamanadev is that when he appeared, the Lord was so charming that all the demigods became completely satisfied. And everybody knows when you've had a nice feast, totally satisfied. That Radhastami feast, so satisfying. You don't even want to eat the rest of the day. That's it. You just have a cup of hot milk at the end of the day, and that's it, And so good. Or hot almond milk. Right, Manjari? It works. I've had hot almond milk. It's delicious. So there's that satisfaction that when he appeared, how tall was he, Drishti? How tall was Lord Vamanadev? He was only 5. Baba, you're 4, so he was not very tall. Right? You see Kalachanchi? He's a little bit older than 5. He's a bit older. He's slightly older. He's like the eternal youthful teenager, our Kalachanchi, ever fresh. If you get a chance, please come see in person Mother Kunkumangi and Nartamananda's love for the Lord, how gorgeous they look. So beautiful. So Vamanadev, he was, not only was he only 5, but what else, Drishti? He was a dwarf. Drishti, do you know what a dwarf is? It's a person, but when they grow to their full height, they're only this big. They're a little higher than 5 feet. That's it. And he was a boy. He was a 5-year-old dwarf, much smaller. But he was completely equipped. Umbrella, kamandulu, belt, japa. He had all the astra. He had Krishna's weapons surrounding him, walking with him. When he walked into the arena, everyone was stunned. They were stunned how gorgeous he is. We think we know beauty in this world. It's only a spark of Krishna's splendor. I had one gentleman, Dayananda. He's Srila Prabhupada's Dayananda. And he was sitting in the hallway, and this was 30 years ago. More than 30. I think it was 35 years ago. I was going through a lot. And he called me over, and he held my hands. Kunti, you need to know something. Krishna consciousness is better than any pleasure in this world. He looked me right in the eyes, and I got convinced. He was one of my first devotees here in Dallas back in 1978, 79. Chandravali was here, then Bhaktin Celeste, and then Dear Lalita, then Bhaktin Diana. And so many Bhaktins were here, and then they got initiated, and everybody, and I was after. And Dayananda made his way back to Dallas. He made his way back, and because he was concerned about all of us, because he knew there was so much stuff going on, and so much politics against our Gurudev. And it was very stressful. And Pandava Vijay, if he's listening, he knows. He knows the whole story. And Shakuntala Mataji, she knows. But the bottom line is, we see the cup half full. We don't see it half empty. Because if you go around seeing things half empty, guess what? It will be empty. And if you see it as half full, it will be full. It will be wonderful. So it really depends on us to be positive. We have to be positive. So Dayananda, he just came and he said, Tamal Krishna Goswami has created a oasis. You have an oasis here between Perry, Gurley, and Phillip, and Wayne, and all these surrounding streets. Srila Prabhupada brought Shishi Radha Kalachandji in 1972, and before that, the devotees were in Turtle Creek. Srila Prabhupada brought the oasis beginning in the ocean of material existence. What is Dallas? And Satsrup Maharaj was here between 1972 all the way to 79, early. I think he was stopped in 78. And then he, Srila Prabhupada brought Shishi Radha Kalachandji. He called him here. And we have so much to be grateful for. The cancer is attacking a lot of devotees right now. It's called turbo cancer. I don't know if anybody's heard of that. It may be related to this thing and that thing and some medications that were passed around, from whatever. But the bottom line is we have to be thankful for every second of every minute, because it's not going to stay. And at the same time, smile and be thankful. Don't be sad that it's over. Be glad that it happened. and keep the sunny side up. There's a pilot on YouTube. I listen to him every now and then because he's so positive. And at the end of his podcast, he says, "Keep the blue side up." Keep the blue side up. So we keep the blue side up because we're all flying these little airplanes called our material body, and who's with us? Spirit, the super soul. And it's in the Shastra that if it were not for the super soul, we couldn't even stay in this body. We don't have the ability to maintain a life in this sack of blood, pus, mucus, bile, stool, and air. We don't have that ability. Only the Supreme Lord has that. And we can circle the life air. Why? Because he's giving the ability. And when he withdraws that ability, right? Right? Isn't it Krishna? The saying is that with Krishna, what can you hold back with Krishna's 10 arms? And what can you accept when he's giving you with 10 hands, 10 arms? You can't, it's not possible. He's the ability in man. So, yeah. Anyway, so I got some heavy news yesterday, and I know you all did too. But this Prabhu and I go way back to Houston. So anyway, Gurudev was here in 1978. It was when he began his tenure, was in September of 78. And he worked with Satsrup Maharaj. He was coming in and they were having meetings about the devotees that were here and the services that were going on. And he met all the devotees, Divyaganananda, Divya Shakti, they were in charge of the altar. Then it was Dear Lalita and Goshta Bihari. And then it was Jivananda. He took over at a certain point with Bhakti Lada. And then Narottamananda, he took over at a certain point too. These are all different head pujaris. And then Mother Chandravali, Gurudev appointed her to take over. And so, but going back to Pandava Vijay, when I came to Dallas, I joined in Houston in 78, and he wasn't there yet. It was another devotee who took initiation from another guru. He left ISKCON. I can't think of his name. I'm so sorry. It's right on the top of my tongue. But anyway, he's a very nice devotee. But anyway, he left, and we were scrambling for a temple president. And Srila Gurudev, somehow, Yudhishthir and Renuka, who were then Bhakta Joe and Monica, they were friends of Michael and Sharon Plotkin. And Michael and Sharon Plotkin became managers of the temple even before they were initiated. So, I mean, they were managing Houston Temple. And it was the shoebox on Rosalie, 1111 Rosalie, and very difficult part of town. I'll give you, in a nutshell, I carried a snub-nosed 38 in my diaper bag. And no, it was not loaded, but I had the ability to load it very fast. But I would not keep it loaded because I don't want that around my child. And but that's how difficult the area was, and I had to use it once. I didn't actually fire it, but I pointed it, and I warned the person. So, but then Pandava, he took over, and very soon he got initiated. Srila Gurudev said, well, we can't have you Mr. Plotkin temple president. So we're going to have you initiated. So they got initiated, I think that was in 80 or 81. And then, and they're both degreed. He's got his degrees in business management, and she has her degrees in clinical psychology, and she has other medical training. And he was just amazing temple president. And the temple was pretty broke by the time he inherited it, and he really brought it back online. He brought it back. And how did we do it? We had to start a business. And this is our business. And yes, he supported book distribution, not just painting distribution. People have a mistaken idea. Pana Vijay supported cases of Bhagavatam distribution and cases of Bhagavad Gita distribution. We had a lot of dedicated book distributors, but at a certain point, we morphed to business because we had big plans. And the temple room, the restaurant, the farm in Oklahoma, and we needed to turn some Lakshmi fast. And yeah, so the books right alongside with the painting distribution, and that started, the money was pouring in. Lakshmi Devi, she said, okay, you got it. No problem. Here you go. And we're talking a lot of money. I'm not going to give you figures, but Shalagram Prabhu can, and you can talk to him privately about that if you wish to know. But anyway, yeah, it was a big deal. And who to manage? And he really managed it, and I'm not joking. And talk about challenges. People hated him because he didn't bend. He didn't bend. They wanted compromise. They would call up, well, let's compromise this and compromise that, and nope. No, this is not what my guru wants. I'm so sorry. He was polite, but he said, no, I'm so sorry, I can't do that. You know, and then sometimes he wasn't polite. Sometimes he was in your face, and that got him in a lot of trouble. So, anyway, yeah, I mean, the stories are huge. But then he got sick, cerebral meningitis. That happened right after he left the temple presidency, and that was in 85. So he was temple president from 81 to 85. And he did more in those 4 years than many temple presidents do in their 40 years. And I have to say that. I'm sorry, I watched it. I saw the results. You want to tell me how great someone is? Show me the results. Just like Srila Prabhupada with Gurudev, in walks one by one, freshly shaven brahmacharis, holding a rose, putting at Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet on his desk. And Srila Prabhupada sat back just smiling and smiling. This is results. Yes, you may continue to preach here. So, yeah, it was like 20 brahmacharis, you know, it's huge. Or 12, I don't know. Anyway, okay, I see hands going up in the name of Mother Nandini, and I would like to hear from her.
DM. Do you remember DM?
Yes, I do.
Yes, devotee maintenance.
Yes, I do.
Yes. We're all just living in the temple, and you got a little stipend to maintain, right, Kunti?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing I just wanted to ask you, when the Ganges, came from the, divine
toe.
lotus toe,
Yes.
is this not the pastime when Lord Shiva?
There's so many pastimes. Go ahead.
Yeah, he takes he takes the brunt of the force of the Ganges falling to the earth.
Bhagirath. Mm-hmm. Bhagirath, she's called what is it? Bhagavati? Bhagirati? Bhagirati. Yes. Because of Bhagirath. Mm-hmm. Without he performed thousands of years of austerities, but before him, there were so many.
Yes.
Thousands of years of austerities. And finally, Bhagirath came,
Yes.
and she would, but who would bear the descent?
Right.
She said, I'm going to cleave the earth in two. I don't want to do that. And who was it? Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva. He said, I'll take. And so on Lord Shiva, what do we see? A little sprout, a little spout of water.
Comes
So beautiful.
Yes.
He has this ever-fresh Ganges spout.
Yeah.
Ever-fresh.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Thank you, Nandini.
Anyone else?
Anything else? Anybody else? We can end early since I have a heart like a desert.
Thank you so much for all these memories. Really melted my heart.
I know you did, Nandini. You saw everything. You watched it all. Yes, Prabhu. Mother Madhuri Gopika, you want to add to some of the nectar? There's so much nectar here, and I'm sorry, I'm exhausted. I didn't sleep well. And
Oh, we're so grateful to you.
Sorry,
I feel we have two choices. One, we can have Mother Nandini tell us about your service. I don't know if you'll allow that.
Oh, no.
Would you want to?
She wasn't here. The thing about Nandini, she wasn't in Houston. Here's how that happened. And I was so frustrated because I wanted to be around Nandini. The moment I met her, I thought, this is my sister. I want to be with her. But what happened was the politics and the anger and the frustration and the misunderstandings and the curses and counter curses were flying so fast around this temple that I was hustled off to Houston in an old Radha Damodar bus because they wanted me to stay here. And the temple president then, Drishtadumna Maharaj, he cornered me in the hallway right here in front of this door. Bhaktin, by then it was Mother Kunti. Mother Kunti, I'm giving you direct instruction. You board this bus with all your things in 20 minutes. And it was easy. Brahmacharini, you're ready all the time, and you got your backpack all the time. So no problem, Maharaj, I'll go. And he said, I want you in Houston and you stay there until further notice. Don't leave there. So, yeah, so Nandini was there in Dallas. So Nandini, you joined in 80? Nandini, are you still there? 80. 81, yeah. And she was watching the construction in the temple, and we were funding it with the Sankirtan. It was Sankirtan. And then, so we were in Houston, and that was the money machine. And Houston was funneling it all up to Dallas. Dallas was a money machine. We had Rupanuga, Maternath, Leela, Jayanti, all these devotees. They were all out on Sankirtan. Everybody, Lakshmi Priya, Rohini Nandana, you name it, they were all. Nartamananda, Kunkumangi. Kunkumangi was this support with the prasadam and going out. And people were going out. And it wasn't like they didn't want to go out, they wanted to go out. It was a big deal. And so Nandini, by the time the restaurant, it opened in 82, I know because Nishing Rupa's birthday is August 2nd, 1982, 82. And then the restaurant opened right around that time period. And I was like, oh my God, I'll always remember this. Only because I had a baby, it stuck. And then Nandini was the first wave. She was one of the first wave waitresses, and it was Choda Haridas, or was it Sunanda? Choda Haridas was the cook, and Sunanda was there also, and was Apurva there yet? Sometime, and then Mahadev came up. Yeah, Mahadev came from Houston. It was huge. Mahadev cooked for Srila Prabhupada. Okay. Srila Prabhupada personally ate his pakoras right off his hand, took them right out of his hand. So, we have some really nectar going on here. And then, where was I? About Nandini. She was Gurudev and Nandini were making up plates in the restaurant, because then it was serve. We would make a nice plate, make it look beautiful, and bring it out one by one. And it was proportioned just so people were satisfied, not too much, not too little. And it was beautiful, like a little flower on each plate. It was professional. And Tamal Krishna Goswami Gurudev, he was right in there rubbing shoulders with Nandini and the other waitresses. Who was it? Govinda Dasi, she was there. And and they were making plates. And Gurudev was serving the plates and, bussing tables. And everybody was working together. And then we had this guy out in front that was dressed like a Sikh warrior. Turban, Sikh warrior with a big sword and the whole thing. The real deal. Not a rubber sword either, a real sword. And and it was like, and he would greet everybody. He would nod and greet and open the door. And they were like super impressed. It was like, whoa, this is cool. And Kalachandji was born in Dallas. I mean, Kartikeya, Maitre D. He was sous chef or Maitre D. Who was sous chef? One of the cooks. Choda had one. He had a sous chef. I bet it was Sunanda. He and Sunanda got along so well. They were like peas in a pod. So good. And so that probably switched off. I'm talking professional, like hardcore New York City, 5-star Michelin, first class. No kidding. And so that went on for about a year, right? When did buffet start? About 3 years later or 2 years later?
No, I don't think it started that quick because,
Mike,
I have to look. There's a picture in the back to Godhead.
Put the mic.
There's a picture in the back of the Godhead with you remember the salad bar was in the center of the restaurant?
But when did they start buffet?
I don't think it was 3 years ago because Sunanda was here for quite a while.
No, 3 years after the opening.
I don't know.
You're
I
not
don't think
sure.
it was that soon because when Sunanda was there for quite some time, it was
he was
still
there for 10 years.
Yeah,
at
it was
least.
still like this. I don't remember it being a buffet.
So it didn't go to buffet for probably 10 years.
I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, if Darasha is listening, he can straighten me out.
Yeah.
He knows exactly. And so does Chaitanya Chandra. He knows exactly.
And he was also managing.
And he was managing, yeah. He came in, Nandini and Kartikeya, you guys were the first managers.
Right.
And you managed for what? How many years? You got 5 or 6 years, right?
A couple of years.
Because you moved. You went to California.
We moved to California
That's
in
right.
85 or 86.
5, that's
I
it.
think
So you managed until 85, and then Chaitanya took over, or
Yeah.
someone. Okay, anyway,
Hare
this
Krishna.
restaurant is
It was a
had
magical time.
and it's
Magic
still,
Lotus.
and it's still
Magic
magical.
Lotus
That's
catering.
Sunanda's catering.
Yeah, it was
Magic Lotus. No, but it's still magic because I go in there and I see people go, and their eyes are just like, wow, this is beautiful, and they're just like practically shaking. They're making their plates up with so much gratitude, And I ask people sometimes when they come out, oh, how did you like your meal? Delicious, and they mean it. Delicious. They really say delicious, and you see how hard Mother Satya is working now. I mean, she's taking her cues from Sweta Manjari and Manjwali. Sweta Manjari really blazed the trail after Mother Bhakti. Bhakti took over after Sunanda. I mean, it was like a real disciplic succession. And Sunanda taught Bhakti all those really good dishes. The ones you see in a Purva's cookbook. Those. Yeah. Anyway, Kalachandji, oh my God, it's so late. It's 8:30. All right, this was so much fun.
So fun.
All glories to Sri Muhammad. You want to say something, please?
No, this is wonderful.
Please close us out.
No, Hare Krishna, thank you so much,
Yeah.
Devi.
Thank you,
I just want to
Nandini.
thank Mother Nandini and Mother Kunti and all of the wonderful disciples here. I feel like Radha Kalachandji is very, very blessed. It's a very blessed place to be because His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, such an exalted devotee, but first and foremost, he was a first-class disciple of His Divine Grace, Srila Asa Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. But all of you here who came and have stayed, you are first-class disciples. And so the mercy is flowing here, and that's why this is a special place to be. So thank you so much for all of your service, and I could listen to your stories forever. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. And all glories to Srimad Bhagavatam. Jai.